We all crave a little calm and tranquility in our lives, and we all hear about the many ways people find peace in their life. But what about wisdom from the old times? The Stoics, ancient philosophers from Greece and Rome, have some timeless advice for finding inner peace. And the best part, their teachings are just as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. So, here are 10 important lessons the Stoics can teach you about finding inner peace. You will learn some seriously powerful insights that will help you navigate the choppy waters of life with grace and tranquility. 1. Focus on what you can eat. The Stoics were big on this one. They believed that peace comes from understanding what we can and can't. How many times have you stressed over something that was completely out of your hands? A traffic jam when you're running late, a rainy day ruining your outdoor plans, or a friend canceling at the last minute. It can be frustrating. But here's the thing, you can't control any of these situations. What you can control, however, is how you react to them. The Stoics suggest accepting things as they are instead of how you want them to be. So next time something doesn't go your way, remember this lesson from the Stoics. Take a deep breath, let go of the frustration and focus on what you can do instead. You might just find that elusive peace you've been looking for. 2. Practice gratitude daily. The Stoics believed in the power of being thankful for what we have, rather than pining for what we don't. Modern science backs them up. Studies show that practicing gratitude can lead to increased happiness and reduced stress levels. So how do you bring a bit of this Stoic wisdom into your life? It's simple. Start each day by noting down 3 things you're grateful for. It could be anything: a warm bed, a good friend, or even a delicious meal. By focusing on the good in your life, you'll start to see the world in a more positive light and nurture your inner peace. So why wait? Grab a pen and start noting down the things you're thankful for. 3. Live in the present moment. The Stoics had a knack for embracing the present moment. They knew that dwelling on the past or worrying about the future only leads to unnecessary stress and anxiety. Personally, when I have something big coming up, I find myself constantly worrying about it and keep on thinking about the what-ifs. It takes me away from the present moment, and my anxiety just gets bigger. What I am now trying to do is give this Stoic principle a go. Instead of worrying about the future, I start focusing on what I am doing at that moment. I try to fully engage in whatever I'm doing. It takes practice, but it's worth it. So next time you find your mind wandering off into the past or future, remember this Stoic principle. Bring your attention back to the now and watch as your peace levels start to rise. 4. Accept change. The Stoics understood that change is a fundamental part of life. They believed in embracing change rather than resisting it as a pathway to inner peace. Did you know that the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus, a precursor to Stoicism, famously said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice"? What he meant was that the world is constantly changing, and so are we. Trying to hold on to things as they are is like trying to stop a river from flowing. It's just not possible. So, the next time you're faced with a big change, try to see it as an opportunity rather than a problem. Embrace it, go with the flow, and remember that change is just a natural part of life. It might not always be easy, but it's definitely a step towards finding that inner peace. 5. Cultivate compassion. The Stoics were not all about self-improvement. They also taught the importance of understanding and kindness towards others. They believed that we are all part of a greater whole and that peace comes from maintaining goodwill towards our fellow human beings. Now let's think about it. How many times have we been quick to judge or slow to forgive? We're all guilty of it. But imagine the peace we could find if we chose compassion over judgment, kindness over criticism. We're all fighting our own battles, most of which we know nothing about. So let's take a leaf out of the Stoic book and try to foster more compassion in our lives. The next time you feel the urge to judge or criticize, try to replace it with understanding instead. Remember, a little more compassion can not only bring peace to those around us, but can also bring us closer to our own inner peace. It's a win-win. 6. Value action over words. The Stoics were firm believers in actions speak louder than words. They thought that true peace comes from living in accordance with our values, not just talking about them. If you aren't sure about your values, I have a free Defining Your Values exercise you can do. Click here to find out more. So remember, actions do speak louder than words. If you want to find inner peace, make sure your actions are aligned with your values. It's truly a game changer. 7. Embrace imperfection. Life's not perfect, and neither are we. The Stoics got this. They believed that peace comes from accepting our flaws and imperfections, not from chasing after some idea of perfection. We live in a world that's constantly telling us to be more. Do more, have more. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we're not enough just as we are. But striving for perfection is like chasing the horizon. No matter how far you run, you'll never reach. So let's cut ourselves some slack. Let's embrace our quirks, our flaws, and our mistakes. They're what make us human. They're what make us real. Remember, it's okay to be a work in progress. In fact, it's perfectly imperfect, and there's a lot of peace to be found in that. So here's to loving ourselves, warts and all. The Stoics would definitely drink to that. 8. Practice moderation. The Stoics believed in the concept of the golden mean, finding the middle ground between extremes. They advised against excess and promoted a lifestyle of moderation for achieving inner peace. Did you know that the word Stoics comes from the Greek word stoas, which was a covered walkway in Athens, where the philosopher Zeno taught this philosophy? His teachings were all about finding balance and maintaining moderation in all aspects of life. So, how can we apply this Stoic wisdom today? It can be as simple as balancing work and play, eating a healthy diet without depriving ourselves, or enjoying our favorite pastimes without overindulging. Remember, life is all about balance. By practicing moderation, we can create a more harmonious life and find that inner peace we're seeking. So let's strike a balance, just like the Stoics. 9. Learn to let go. The Stoics were masters at letting go. They knew that holding on to anger, resentment, or regret only feeds into our own suffering and steals our peace. Here's how I learned this lesson. A few years ago, I had a falling out with a close friend. We said some harsh words, and just like that, our friendship was over. I spent months holding on to my anger and disappointment. Then I came across this Stoic principle of letting go. It made me realize that by holding on to my grudges, I was only hurting myself. So I made the decision to let go of my anger and resentment. It wasn't easy, but it felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. So if you're clutching onto something that's causing you pain, try to loosen your grip. Remember, letting go doesn't mean forgetting or condoning what happened. It simply means choosing your peace over your pain. The Stoics would certainly agree. 10. Know that it's okay to not have all the answers. This is something the Stoics understood well. They knew that life is full of uncertainties and mysteries, and that's okay. We don't always need to have all the answers to find peace. We live in a world that values knowledge and certainty. We're expected to always know where we're going, what we're doing, why we're doing it. But how often do we actually have all the answers? And how much stress do we cause ourselves by trying to figure everything out? What if we stop trying to have all the answers? What if we embrace the unknown, accept that life is uncertain, and just roll with it? Remember, it's okay not to know. It's okay to be uncertain. And there's a lot of peace to be found in just accepting that. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, in a world where everything seems like it's spinning out of control, we already possess the means to solve most of our problems. We have our mind and our will to do and be something truly remarkable. That is the Stoic wisdom penned by the philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius around 180 AD. This is the kind of wisdom we need today. Besides death, perhaps the worst thing about COVID-19 and other big crises is that things will never be the same again. Whatever life we had before this global plague is now gone. The unique pairing of Stoicism and CBT exercises is perfect for getting through just about anything. For many, the new normal has yet to be comfortable or accepted. Though we're in the throes of a speedy recovery, it's hard to stay positive about the future. And yet staying positive and working through this is exactly what we must do. We all have challenges ahead of us that we simply cannot ignore. The success stories of this era are from the people who have adopted the right mindset to move beyond mere survival mode. In fact, they are safe and flourishing. They have turned failure into triumph. So where do we begin the ascent? How do we get back on top of things and improve our lives? Moving forward, a deep-rooted change must happen. Whether your life needs a complete turnaround or just a minor readjustment, the key to your success relies on establishing a core philosophy. So while people have differing opinions on what success is, the how part is a simple process. To be successful, you have to get 3 things right. You must adopt the right mindset. That is, you have to emulate the mindset and coping mechanisms of anyone who achieved what you want to do. Your mind must be open and adaptable to change. Wildly successful people and clinical psychologist Steve Orma will tell you that at a certain point, 90% of their success is due to their mindset. You must have a good strategy. There are many roads to Rome. The hard part is finding which one is best for you and then following it every step of the way. Of course, some strategies are better than others. However, there's no need to reinvent the wheel where success has already been achieved. You must execute relentlessly until you achieve your goal. Most people give up too easily. They have a good plan of attack, but they get discouraged by minor setbacks. This isn't a strategy problem, it's a mindset and execution problem. Sometimes even when you are in doubt, you just have to keep going and things end up working out. The richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, founded Amazon.com and registered that domain in July of 1994. A quarter century later, his company is valued at over $1 trillion. Along the way, Bezos has made what people might not know is that 2 months before he registered Amazon, he secured the website relentless.com. That site redirects to Amazon.com, and it shows just how committed he was to executing on his dream e-commerce company. On the surface, it sounds like being able to stick with things and execute well is the key to success. However, it's really mindset that will cause the domino effect of success. It directly affects every outcome. We can see this in action right now as COVID-19 starts to pull back and the rubble from its destruction lays bare. We are still in the free fall of a world crisis. People are jobless and some are homeless. Add to this, we're seeing countless riots, natural disasters, and fate. It feels like the world is coming to an end. And yet, as mentioned, some people have managed to pick themselves back up and thrive during this dark time. Though they still have a long ways to go, their mind is set right, and every day they are taking care of business without complaint. In fact, the COVID-19 after effects have only strengthened their resolve. One philosophy behind this type of mindset is found in ancient Stoicism, which was developed by Zeno of Citium around 300 BC. For a while, it was all but forgotten. However, in the last few years, there has been a revival of Stoicism thanks to influential people like Tim Ferriss and Ryan Holiday. They have shown that in general, and even in desperate times, it's an incredibly useful philosophy to adopt. Stoicism scholars today do have their favorite ancient philosophers. Tim Ferriss and Massimo Pigliucci are quite fond of quoting Seneca. Jules Evans said that Epictetus's discourses helped him overcome his emotional problems more than Ryan Holiday and Donald Robertson are decidedly huge fans of Marcus Aurelius. While Seneca and Epictetus have more content to work with, there is far more information on Marcus Aurelius since he was a public figure and one of Rome's greatest in the world of modern Stoicism. Few people know more about Marcus Aurelius than Donald Robertson. His books and courses take you from covering the basics to college graduate level information. I was first introduced to Robertson's work when I was reading Jules Evans's book Philosophy for Life and Other Dangerous Situations. Evans candidly tells the story of how he had suffered from unbearable bouts of mood swings, depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. He was advised to utilize techniques from a school of psychology called cognitive behavioral therapy to help him overcome these ailments. CBT originated from 2 therapists who were quite fond of Stoicism. Evans learned that the foremost expert on the roots of CBT was Donald Robertson, who has published extensively on this subject. The unique pairing of Stoicism and CBT exercises is perfect for getting through just about anything. Stoicism represents a broad philosophy and mindset to work through common problems. CBT represents the application of specific exercises at a local personal level to achieve tangible results. While many people mistake classic Stoicism to be the philosophy of having a stiff upper lip and being unemotional, these connotations are simply wrong. I'm reminded of Robertson's clarification in his seminal book, How to Think Like a Roman Emperor,